Well, good morning and welcome to the Wednesday Pastor Check-In with Pastor Brian. That's me. It is a joy to be with you on this Wednesday morning with the sun up and the temperatures rising and the snow melting. It's feeding my soul, I can tell you that much. But wanted to let you know at the start here about some of the exciting and uplifting news that we've got going in the church right now. We are opening up our physical sanctuary space for services starting this Sunday, the 28th. We had intended to open on the 7th, but we looked at the numbers and how quickly we were able to open up, and the Ad Council decided on this last Sunday to open up this last Sunday in February, the second Sunday in Lent. And so we are having our 8:30 service here in the sanctuary, our 10 o'clock service over in Parish Hall. But we are still continuing those online services here at 9:30 and 11, just so you know, just so you're aware. We know that what we're entering is a very gradual opening up phase. As more people get vaccinated, more people become comfortable and are able to be together. So, we know that you will do what works for you in this time. But opening up here in the next week. So what an exciting and uplifting thing. I was remarking to someone that for a long time we haven't had really kind of a finish line, something to hope for, an end line to where we're headed. But now as we have more vaccinations, potentially a majority of folks vaccinated sometime in the summer, you can kind of put an end mark to this time that we've been through. And what a year it has been. So we are proud of you for doing what you need to do no harm, to do good for your neighbor, and to stay in love with God in this last year. So props to you, and you are a blessing. But as we are entering this phase of reopening our physical spaces, having spent much of the last year strictly online, I've been thinking a lot about ritual. What comes to mind for you when you hear that word ritual? One of the things I think about is morning rituals. And so just take a minute to think of what you do in the morning. What is your morning routine? And we can talk about the difference between routine and rituals. But as you think about your morning, what does it involve? For me, it involves getting up. I'm almost, I'd say about half the time now that Trisha's working out in the morning. I'm up early. I'm up before everyone else. And I get up, get ready, take the dog out, go out on the porch if it's not too cold, and kind of observe the yard to make sure that it looks good. And then I go in and get my coffee brewing. I'll probably watch a little bit of the morning news. Might read something on my phone or in a book or in a devotional or in the Bible. And this morning I have my cup of coffee. This is part of my morning routine that I could not go without. I could, but it seems ever central. And we're not. The office doesn't open till 9, but often I like to come in a little bit early and find a quiet space, like the sanctuary, and just reflect and get ready for the day, so that when we do open up, I'm able to be centered and ready for the day. So I wonder what your morning looks like, your morning routine. And I think the way that we can think about rituals, which the technical definition is those things that mark time and space in a particular way that we do in community. And so as we think about our morning routines, there might be those things that we say, well, we often do this, but there might be some of those things that we say, I couldn't imagine my morning without. This might be one of them. There might be a devotional or a piece of reading that you do, or maybe you do a morning walk, or maybe for you working out, or maybe for you it's reaching out to a friend or things like that. What would your morning not feel like a morning without? As we think about how ritual plays into our worship, it is, I think, one of the most central pieces to worship. There are things we do, we have an order of worship, things that we expect to happen on a Sunday morning. But the idea of ritual, and perhaps one of the things that we have missed in not being able to gather physically in community, is the importance of ritual. Worship doesn't feel like worship without being together. Worship doesn't feel like worship without singing together. Worship doesn't feel like worship without being able to pray for one another together. These are the rituals that we do: communion, baptism, passing of the peace. These are kind of the rituals that we go through. They are routine in that we do them often enough, but they're also ritual elements that ground us in a time, in a place, and in a community, and a tradition that goes back centuries together. And as we have been in this online space, it has been a joy to be able to kind of approximate those rituals online and translate those into an online space, watching people drop prayer concerns, as we read scripture together and we sing together even in our homes. But we also realize that ritual happens with bodies in community. And so I wonder today, as you go about the rest of your day, if you can kind of think of those things that are routine but are central to your day, to your life, to your spirit. What are those things that you couldn't imagine your life without? What are those things that you do, those tasks that maybe some days seem mundane, but really are a ritual for you? And consider those the next time you are able to join us in worship. The things that we do together to celebrate Christ's inbreaking into our midst, the ritual experience. And so just think about that today. Think about ritual and what is important for you. Okay. I want to also let you know, before I let you go, that in the next 4 weeks, we're going to do something a little bit different. The next remaining 4 weeks of Lent, I thought we would do a little Bible study. Just for fun, to kind of dig into a scripture, and as a way of kind of entering into prophetic literature. Maybe or maybe not, you have heard of the prophet Haggai. Have you heard of the prophet Haggai? Well, the book Haggai is 2 chapters long, but I thought it would be a great book to be able to open up and read together. So I wanted to let you know this week so that you might have a chance to read this pretty short book before next week. Haggai is the name of it. And we'll make sure to do a little bit more deep dive as we get into that book for those of you that may not have a chance to read it. So, all right. I love when I can come in the sanctuary and I don't even have to turn the lights on with these beautiful stained glass windows. That is part of my morning ritual. What's yours?